What if I told you there's a job that pays well, offers great benefits, and doesn't come with the stress you'd expect from the healthcare field? Sounds impossible, right? Let me share my experience. I've spent years working in the healthcare field, but not as a nurse or a doctor. I'm a medical radiation technologist, and my workday is as low stress as it gets. No long shifts, no endless rounds of patient care, just a steady, easygoing routine that pays well and leaves plenty of time for me to relax. Story 1. The medical radiation technologist. Unlike nurses and doctors, we don't work long hours. Our primary responsibility is to take diagnostic images of patients. Once those images are done, the patients are taken away by the porters. The best part, we don't spend much time with them. Once our shift is over, we simply pack up and head home. No late nights, no crazy overtime. The more skilled you get, the easier it becomes. Over time, things just flow, and honestly, I can't think of a better way to spend my workday. The routine is straightforward, and there's always someone around to lend a hand if needed. Now, just to be clear, I work in X-rays only, not CT or MRI. Those jobs are far more demanding because of strict schedules. But for me, it's the perfect balance between income and relaxation. Story 2. The nuclear plant operator. I make up to $180,000 a year, depending on how much overtime I pick up. If I stick to regular hours, I still make $140,000, all while working just 32 to 48 hours a week. The best part, it's shift work, meaning I get my days off to recharge. The job itself is low stress because if you can pass the monthly exams, you don't have much to worry about. Sure, there's a lot of training at first, and if you're not the quickest learner, it can be a bit challenging. But once you've passed the initial training and understand the nuclear plant operations, everything becomes routine. It's a very straightforward job, and as long as you're competent, the stress just isn't there. So while I'm making great money and working only a few days a week, I don't have the constant anxiety that others may expect from a job like this. It's the kind of job you only need to worry about if you're not prepared. But as long as you know your stuff, it's smooth sailing. Story 3. The truck driver. I make about $80,000 a year, driving trucks, and if I decide to work extra hours, I can make even more. The best part, I'm home every single day, which is rare for a lot of drivers. I get to listen to music, watch the sunrise, and just enjoy the peace and quiet. Now, I won't sugarcoat it. There are some complaints that come with the job. People get annoyed when you're in the way, and some drivers can be pretty rude. But honestly, I've learned to adopt a screw-it mentality. That's the key to not letting it stress me out. I'm lucky though. I got hired by a company that allows me to sit down locally. Long-haul drivers, they make less money and have more stress. But for me, being a home daily driver has been the best choice. It's simple, I drive, I get paid, and I go home. That's all I need. Story 4. The deckhand on a tugboat. I work as a deckhand on a tugboat in New York, and honestly, I can't complain. I make around $85 a day, and the pay just keeps going up with promotions. Next in line, I'll be making $585 a day, and eventually as a captain, I could make $607. The best part of the job is the lifestyle. We live on the boat, going up and down the East Coast for 2 weeks straight, then we get 2 weeks off. It's a steady, reliable gig, and during those 2 weeks on the boat, we get free food, satellite TV, and downtime to unwind. I bring my Xbox and play for a couple of hours every day. It's as chill as it sounds, with most of the crew just hanging out, enjoying their time. There's no rush, no crazy deadlines, just a steady rhythm. And when we're docked, we have plenty of time to relax. I know it's not the highest paying job for everyone, but it suits me. As a single 24-year-old, it's perfect for my lifestyle. Story 5. Rural EMS worker in Canada. I work in rural EMS in Canada, and I have to say, the schedule is what makes this job so appealing. I work 96 hours on, followed by 96 hours off. That's 4 straight days of work, then 4 days to relax. The town I work in is about an hour and 40 minutes away from where I live in the city, so my commute isn't terrible. I only have to make the drive once every 4 days, which isn't bad at all. When I'm at the station, I have the freedom to do whatever I want, as long as we don't get a call. The company provides a staff house with satellite TV, Wi-Fi, a decent gym, and plenty of downtime. Most of my days are spent playing video games with my coworkers, watching movies, or just chilling. It's laid back, and when a call does come in, we have 8 minutes to respond. The calls themselves can be a bit dull, mostly people who just aren't feeling well, but I do enjoy the tough ones. The ones that challenge me, make me think on my feet, and use my skills. In the 96-hour shift, we usually average about 5 to 6 calls, but I've also worked a shift without any calls at all. I make around $70,000 a year, with great benefits, and when I'm looking to pick up extra shifts, I can earn double time pay. For me, it's the ideal balance of low stress and a decent paycheck. Story 6. The in-house graphic designer. I'm an in-house graphic designer for a large retail company. The workload can get busy, but there's no stress like you would get at an agency. There's no need to please a bunch of different clients or constantly worry about where your next project is coming from. What I love most about my job is the stability. It's a consistent flow of work without the pressure. I don't have to hustle like a freelancer or rush to meet client deadlines. My days are mostly about creating designs for internal use, and I get to focus solely on the company's needs. Of course, there are moments when things get hectic, but for the most part, I get to work at my own pace. The hours are regular, and I don't have to take work home with me. I get paid well, and I'm able to enjoy my personal life without stressing over my job. In fact, there's almost a sense of comfort in knowing exactly what each day will bring. I appreciate that. It's rare to find a job that gives you both creativity and peace of mind. The story 7. The ultrasound technician. I work as an ultrasound technician in a doctor's office, specializing in heart and vascular systems. The pay is pretty good, especially considering how low stress the job is. I make $35 an hour, and once you get fast at your job, you end up with a lot of free time. The key to this role is getting the hang of the lingo and the procedures. Once you've got that down, half of your shift is just waiting for the next patient. But that time isn't wasted. I read, trade stocks, and even learn new things in my free moments. It's like getting paid to do nothing for half the day. But in a good way. The job itself is straightforward and quiet. It doesn't require constant hustle or rush, and I enjoy that. I have the luxury to balance work with personal growth, and I can get creative with how I spend the downtime. It's a steady job with minimal stress, great pay, and tons of time for everything else I want to do. Honestly, it's a dream role if you're looking for something laid back that still supports a decent lifestyle. Story 8. The English teacher in China. I teach English in China. It's not a high-paying gig compared to some jobs, but when you factor in the low cost of living here, I'm doing pretty well. I make about $2,700 a month, and my living expenses are almost completely covered. What I love about the job is the freedom. I only work about 12 hours a week. The rest of my time is mine to explore, relax, or dive into my hobbies. I get a return flight home once a year, and I even have 3 months off during the year to travel or just unwind. And yes, I'm still paid for those 3 months. It's not about getting rich, it's about having a lifestyle that's both relaxed and financially sustainable. I spend my days exploring new places, meeting people, and when I'm in the office, I'm teaching the same basic lessons over and over. There's no stress in that. The job may not be glamorous, but it's incredibly manageable and comes with the bonus of time to live life on my own terms. For someone who loves to travel and experience different cultures, it's honestly perfect. Story 9. The quality control specialist. I work in quality control on electrical and mechanical projects. My job is simple. Read the original proposal, follow the specifications, and ensure the subcontractors stick to the plan. The goal? Keep the customer happy by delivering exactly what they paid for. Most of the time, it's incredibly laid back. There are some hectic moments, especially when we have a tight deadline, but those are rare. The job rarely demands anything ending routine checks and occasional problem solving. 90% of the time, I'm sitting behind a desk, verifying reports, or making sure things are running smoothly. I've even developed a system where I can do the work without feeling stressed. It's a great setup where the workload is manageable and I can enjoy a peaceful day at work. The biggest stress I deal with is when I need to remind people to follow the rules. But even that's rare. For the most part, it's a low-stress, high-reward job that allows me to maintain a comfortable lifestyle while enjoying my work. Story 10. The home theater designer. I'm a home theater designer, and I get paid well for doing something I enjoy. My job is to tin home theater systems. People send me their floor plans, and I create visual layouts, showing where speakers, TVs, and other components should go. The best part is that most of the work is done remotely. I rarely need to leave my desk, and I only troubleshoot over the phone when something goes wrong with the system. The work itself is easy once you've mastered the basics. Most days I'm just sitting at my desk, playing around with layouts, and helping customers over the phone. The pay is good, and I get to enjoy a comfortable lifestyle without the stress, client deadlines, or the pressure of being on site. It's a dream job for someone who loves tech and enjoys a calm work environment. But after that, everything fell into place, and now I spend most of my day just managing his calendar and handling the occasional call. The best part of the job is that it's predictable. I've learned how he operates, so now I can get everything done ahead of time and spend most of my day chatting with others in the office, drinking coffee or catching up on Reddit. While the pay isn't incredible, I get to work in a relaxed environment. The job's stress level is minimal, and I feel secure knowing I'm working for someone who values my efforts. It's a job that doesn't eat up my time or energy, and I can easily handle it while still enjoying my life. Story 12. The College Professor. I'm a college professor, and while I love what I do, the best part about the job is that it's just 15 hours a week of actual teaching. You might think that's not enough to make a living, but it's more than enough when you factor in the breaks and flexible schedule. I get several months off each year, and although I'm technically working during those months for grading and prep, I can do it all at my own pace. The hardest part of my job is dealing with unmotivated students, but even that's manageable. The rest of the time, I can focus on research or enjoy personal hobbies. The work isn't demanding, and I have time to pursue my own project. It's the perfect balance between intellectual stimulation and freedom. Story 13. The Senior Accountant in Oil and Gas. I'm a senior accountant at a small oil and gas company, and let me tell you, this job has been a breath of fresh air. Unlike larger corporations that are constantly under pressure, my company really takes care of us. We've been doing well, even when the oil market's been rocky. The president of the company treats everyone like family, with great compensation, bonuses, and benefits. The work can get busy, but it's manageable. Most of the time, I'm in the office during regular hours, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And when I leave, my job is done. There's no bringing it home, and no constant worrying about the next deadline. I've been able to advance quickly, moving from knowing nothing about the oil and gas industry to being one of the top 3 senior accountants here in just a few years. I get a lot of respect from my coworkers, and the trust we all share makes the work environment even easier to handle. And with the flexibility to work from home when needed, this job gives me a perfect work-life balance. Story 14. The Marketing Data Analyst. I work in data analytics, and it's hard to believe how easy and rewarding this job is. I make $75,000 a year, and I've been able to enjoy the luxury of working from home for years now. No more commutes, no office drama, and no rigid dress codes. When I first started, I was doing telemarketing for a credit card company, working nights and weekends for just $9 an hour, but I always kept my eyes open for something better. And after some time, I transitioned into data analytics without needing a degree or any special training. It was a natural fit because I've always had an eye for patterns. Now, I analyze data from home, working from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., and I rarely work overtime. It's a great life. I've mastered the job, and I'm paid well to do it. The beauty of I'm still learning every day, but the job never feels stressful. I just look for patterns, and the rest takes care of itself. Story 15. The Landman in Oil and Gas. As a landman in the oil and gas industry, my job revolves around researching property history. I spend most of my time digging through old documents at county courthouses, figuring out who owned the land for the past 150 years, and what they did with it. It's like a lot of paperwork, but it's really like piecing together a huge puzzle. There's some stress when we're under tight deadlines, but it's nothing I can't handle. Most of the time, I work from home and set my own pace. The courthouses are quiet and peaceful, almost like libraries, so I can really focus the research. The job is rewarding in its own way because I get to see a project through from start to finish, and I know that my work will directly impact the company's success. It's not the highest paying job, but it's satisfying and allows me to maintain a low-stress lifestyle. Story 16. The Petroleum Geologist. I'm a petroleum geologist, and when I started, I never expected to be making a 6-figure salary right out of school, but here I am, enjoying a job with a 40-hour week and minimal stress. The work involves a lot of guesswork and educated predictions, but for the most part, it's manageable. The company relies on my analysis of oil reserves and geologic formations to make decisions, and that's a big responsibility, but it's not as eye pressure as you might think. The stress comes in when I'm unsure about my predictions, but even then, it's manageable. The most important part is that I love my work. I get to be outdoors and analyze geological formations, and the paycheck isn't bad either. It's the kind of career where you're trusted to make educated guesses, and once you get the hang of it, it's smooth sailing. Story 17. The Senior Producer. On any given day, I could be writing, shooting, editing, and producing up to 12 unique videos, along with all the necessary assets, like splash screens and tie-in media. The work is demanding, and my days are long. But here's the thing. I love what I do. I get creative control, and every project I work on has an immediate, visible impact. There's something incredibly satisfying about seeing the result of your hard work in real time. While the job is full of deadlines, it's never been overwhelming. There's a lot of variety, and I get to dive into different tasks, from video production to community management. It keeps me on my toes, but never stresses me out. Plus, it's rewarding knowing that everything I do has a direct result. When I leave the office, I'm tired, but satisfied, and most importantly, I never get bored. Story 18, the Carman Freight Car Repair. I work as a carman, inspecting and repairing freight cars. Most of the time the job is laid back and easy. I check for any issues and fix them when they arrive. There are days when I have to work through bad weather, heat waves, rain, or freezing temperatures, but those are rare. The only time stress creeps in are when the yard's a mess and the yard master expects us to clean it up in record time, or when managers come around to nitpick. But these situations are few and far between, and even then, I've learned how to handle them without letting them get to me. The job suits me perfectly. I get to work at my own pace and don't have to worry about deadlines hanging over my head. And the pay is enough to live comfortably. So I'm not complaining. Freight repair doesn't sound glamorous, but it's a solid gig with good pay and low stress. Story 19. The Board Game Company Employee. I work for one of the world's largest board game companies, and I have one of the most fun, low-stress jobs imaginable. My role mainly involves granting studios in other countries access to our files so they can translate and sell our games in their markets. I travel to check out these studios, making sure they're up to standard, and I get to go to game conventions and play games with my coworkers. My job is literally to hang out and test games. Talk about a dream come true. The best part is that the work is creative but never stressful. The benefits are fantastic, and I get to be part of a global team working on something I genuinely care about. It's a great balance of work and play, and the salary is solid, especially considering how relaxed the job is. Story 20. The Data Analyst in a Small Town. I'm a data analyst and I work in a small rural town. My job is simple. I spend a few hours a day doing basic calculations in Excel, analyzing trends and offering insights to help local businesses. It's not glamorous, but it's a steady paycheck, and it's low stress. I'm paid twice the average salary for this town, even though my workload is manageable. There's no office drama, no high-pressure deadlines, just a lot of peace and quiet as I work from home. The biggest challenge is feeling a bit out of place in a town where many people don't even have high school diplomas. But I've learned to appreciate the different perspective this job has given me. While it can be lonely at times, it's a peaceful life with good pay and no major stress. Story 21. The Direct Support Professional. I work as a direct support professional for individuals with developmental disabilities. Most of my job is pretty chill. About 90% of the time, I'm either drawing, watching movies, or browsing Reddit while the people in my care are sleeping. I work midnights, which means my shifts are quiet and I get a lot of time to myself. The pay isn't anything extraordinary, around $10.25 an hour, but the benefits are good and the work environment is relaxed. Some people might find it tough work with those who have developmental disabilities, but I've gotten used to it. I'm calm and patient, and I've learned how to handle challenging behaviors without letting it get to me. Some nights are harder than others, especially if a client is awake or needing more care, but for the most part, it's an easy job that gives me plenty of free time, low stress, decent pay, and I get to help people. It's a nice balance. Story 22. The Export Compliance Executive. I work as an export compliance executive at a medical device company. The job sounds fancy, but in reality I'm mostly just copying and pasting documents. A distributor requests a document, and I find the one that's already been compiled by someone else. I copy it, send it off, and that's pretty much the extent of my job. It's stress-free and low-key, and I love it. There's very little to worry about because everything is already set up for me. I don't need to stress over deadlines or complicated tasks. Once I finish my work, I'm done for the day, and I don't take it home with me. It's not the most exciting job, but it's stable, it's easy, and it allows me to live a comfortable life with minimal stress. Sometimes, simple is just better. Story 23. The Program Coordinator at a University. I'm a program coordinator for desk operations at a large university. My role is mostly about managing student employees at various desks around campus. I handle emails, meetings, and occasionally have difficult conversations with students, but for the most part, the job is pretty relaxed. The pay is decent, just under $40K a year, and the work is low stress. The biggest challenge is dealing with the occasional upset student or handling a tricky situation, but nothing that a bit of patience and communication can't solve. The job is great for someone who enjoys working with people but doesn't want the pressure of a high-stakes career. The benefits are excellent, and the work-life balance is hard to beat. Story 24. The Dog Walker in Los Angeles. I'm a dog walker in Los Angeles, and I can honestly say it's one of the best jobs I've ever had. I see the same 10 dogs every day, so it's like having my own little pet. My clients are great, and the dogs are as excited to see me, which never gets old. The job isn't going to make me rich, but I make about $30 an hour in tips, and I'm outside all day enjoying the sunshine and listening to podcasts. After years of working in retail, I can't express how much I appreciate the freedom this job gives me. I can work part-time, so it covers the bills while still leaving me plenty of time to enjoy life. It's a perfect balance of relaxed work and financial stability. Plus, getting paid to hang out with dogs all day, it's a dream come true. Story 25, The Poker Dealer. I've been a poker dealer for over 12 years, and while the job has completely worn me down, I still enjoy the zero stress it brings. I deal cards to players, listen to their complaints, and occasionally hear some annoying whining, but it's all part of the job. I make between $200 and $300 every other week in tips, after taxes and benefits are taken out. The best part is that I work in a casino where the stakes aren't as high as they are in some places, so I don't have to deal with any crazy pressure. The job doesn't come with the excitement it used to, but I'm no longer stressed out by it. It's become more of a routine, and I appreciate the predictability. For the most part, I'm just chilling at the poker table, making decent money, and avoiding the drama. Story 26, The Pizza Delivery Driver. I deliver pizza for Domino's in an affluent area of North Texas, and it's easily one of the best gigs I've had. I average about $120 a day, and the best part is that it's basically just driving around and getting paid to smoke. I can't think of a simpler, more relaxing job. My route is familiar, and the customers are generally friendly. There's almost no pressure, no deadlines to hit, or heavy expectations. I get paid well for driving around, and on top of that, I get to listen to music or just enjoy the quiet time. It might sound like a basic job, but in this area, it's low stress, pays well, and I get to spend my days just driving around and enjoying the ride. It's the perfect job for someone looking no stress, good pay, and plenty of time to unwind. Story 27, The Independent Courier. I'm an independent courier, and my job involves driving to various animal hospitals to pick up blood samples, urine, stool, biopsies, etc., and delivering them to medical laboratories for testing. I make around $240 a day just driving my car, and honestly, I love the independence of it. There's no boss hovering over me. I'm given a list of locations, and I take care of the rest. The work is simple, low stress, and straightforward, and the best part is that it's flexible. I can plan my route, and as long as I meet the deadlines, I'm golden. The job lets me work at my own pace. I drive around, enjoy the fresh air, and make a decent income without having to deal with office politics or long drawn-out meetings. It's an easy life with solid pay. Story 28, The Medical Transcriptionist. I'm a medical transcriptionist, and for me, this job is one of the most relaxed ones out there. Once you learn the medical lingo and understand the format, the job becomes second nature. I work in 3 shifts, so the pay is better, and the flexibility is amazing. I spend my days listening to dictated medical notes and typing them out. It's quiet, peaceful work with no pressure to perform at lightning speed. As long as I stay focused, I'm able to get through my tasks quickly and with minimal stress. The best part, once you get the hang of it, you can do the job on autopilot, and the money comes in with little effort. It's the kind of work that allows you to be efficient and laid back at the same time. Story 29, The Online Business Consultant. I run my own online consulting business, helping small to mid-sized companies grow their online presence. I've set up a system that works for me, revamping websites, writing content, and running ads only when the data shows it's worth it. My clients love the results, and they're happy with the flexible hours I set for myself. The best part of my job is that it's entirely remote. I can work from anywhere, and I set my own hours. The most important thing is that I take on projects that I find interesting. There are no deadlines, no demands to be physically present, and no one telling me how many hours I need to work. I've reached a point where I can choose to work only half-time, and I still make enough to be comfortable. I also get to take time off whenever I want. I've built my business in a way that prioritizes freedom over everything else, and it's given me the flexibility to live life on my terms. Story 30, The University Admin. I work in administration at a university, and it's one of the most low-stress jobs you could imagine. I answer emails, help students with simple questions, and guide them through the forms they need to fill out. Sometimes it's a bit tricky, but most of the time it's just a matter of explaining things they can find on the website. I make around $60,000 a year, and while it's not a fortune, it's more than enough for the work I do. The best part is the work-life balance. My hours are predictable, and I rarely have to do anything outside of my office hours. The job itself is pretty easygoing. It's great for someone who doesn't mind being a behind-the-scenes person, and with a steady salary, great benefits, and very little stress, it's exactly what I need to stay comfortable without getting burned out. Story 31, The Digital Media Marketer. I work in digital media marketing, and while the pay is decent, around $80,000 a year. The best part of my job is the freedom. Some days I have just an hour or two of work to do, and other days I do almost nothing at all. The role is very reactionary. I respond to the needs of the business, but a lot of the time I'm just waiting for something to go wrong so I can step in and fix it. After 6 years in this field, I've gotten pretty good at it, and now the job feels effortless. I don't stress getting things done, because I know what needs to be done when the time comes. It's not the most fulfilling work, but I've mastered the system. I've gotten to a point where I can almost do the job with my eyes closed, and the flexibility is unbeatable. The fact that I can work from home and manage my own schedule makes it a low-stress gig that pays well enough for me to live comfortably. Story 32. The Swimming Pool Repair Specialist. I work in swimming pool repair, and I love the freedom it offers. I get paid per job, not per hour, which means I have the flexibility to work as much or as little as I want. Some days I take it easy and just enjoy my time, but if I'm feeling motivated, I can push hard and make a lot of money in a short period. I average about $75,000 a year, and since I set my own hours, it's easy to balance work and personal time. I can knock off early and head to a matinee, or I can take the afternoon off to hang out with friends. The best part is that no one is breathing down my neck. I work alone, and I only need to communicate with clients if there's an issue. It's a job that lets me be independent, and with a steady income, I'm not worried about my future. It's as low stress as it gets. Story 33. The Software Quality Assurance Tester. I work in software quality assurance, and while the pay is on par with developers at times, it's far less stressful. I don't actually code, I just test the software and report back on issues, which means there's less pressure on me to perform at the same level as hardcore programmers. Most of the time, I'm just running tests and telling developers when things are wrong. The work is consistent, and while it's not always exciting, it's never stressful. The key to this job is that the competition for good positions is lower, because many people don't want to do this kind of work. That leaves me with a comfortable position and a paycheck that lets me live well without sacrificing my free time. It's a steady job that doesn't take much mental energy but still pays well, and I can handle everything without feeling overwhelmed. Story 34. The Teacher for Unmotivated Students. I'm a teacher, but I have a unique situation. I teach students who don't care because their parents are wealthy and don't put much pressure on them. The downside is that most of my students don't want to learn, which can be frustrating. But the upside? It's easy to manage because I'm just reusing old teaching plans and not putting in much extra effort. The work can be a bit repetitive, and the students can be frustrating at times, but overall it's a low-stress job. The best part is the predictability. I know exactly what I'm walking into every day. Plus, there's no pressure to create brand new lesson plans or engage with students who are actively uninterested. It's a job that lets me be chill while still getting paid well enough to live comfortably. I don't expect to make a fortune, but it's perfect for someone who just wants a steady routine without the headache of dealing with difficult students or parents. Story 35. The Desktop Support Specialist. I work in desktop support and I've had it pretty easy. Nothing ever breaks for me. If something does, it's usually something simple like a typo in an email address or a forgotten password. Most of my day consists of fixing small issues that take about 10 minutes to solve, which means I don't have to put much thought into it. The job is low-key with a decent hourly rate of about $35. I spend my days answering a few calls, troubleshooting minor problems, and then moving on to something else. It's rare that I even have a hard day. Everything runs smoothly for the most part. It's a comfortable job with minimal stress. The hardest part is when a coworker asks for help with something that's beyond my scope of knowledge. But even then, it's not a big deal. I get paid well to sit back, relax, and handle minor tech issues with ease. Story 36. The Garbage Man. I work as a garbage man in a small town, and while it might not sound glamorous, it's a pretty low-stress job. I switch between driving a two-man truck and working at the scale house at the transfer station. The pay is decent, around $50,000 a year, and I have a good routine. The hardest part is when the yard gets messy and the yardmaster expects us to clean it up on the spot. But even then, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a part of the job, and once it's done, the rest of the day is pretty smooth. The job doesn't come with much stress. It's straightforward. I pick up trash, tell people where to dump it, and move on. Some days are tougher than others, especially when the weather is bad, but most days are easygoing. It's a steady job that pays the bills, and I have a lot of time to relax in between shifts. Story 37. The University Admin. I work in administration at a university, handling emails, scheduling meetings, and answering student inquiries. The job is easy, and I don't have to deal with anything particularly stressful. Most of the time I just help students find information on the website or guide them through the simple steps of submitting forms. My salary is just under $44,000, but the benefits are good, and the work-life balance is unbeatable. The stress level is low because the workload is predictable, and I can plan my day accordingly. I'm not stuck in a high-pressure environment, and there's very little urgency in what I do. It's not the most exciting job, but it provides a lot of stability and plenty of free time. The fact that I have evenings and weekends free means I can enjoy my life outside of work without constantly worrying about upcoming deadlines. I love this job because I get to work on my own terms. There are no deadlines, no strict hours, and no pressure to be physically present at the office. I set my own hours and only take on projects I find interesting. The work itself involves revamping websites, writing blog posts, creating landing pages, and running ads. If the data shows it's profitable, my clients appreciate my flexible approach, and since I can work from anywhere, I enjoy the freedom it provides. The best part of this job is that I can work half-time if I want to, and I don't have to feel guilty about taking time off. The business is built around my freedom to choose the projects I work on, and my clients are happy because I deliver good results. It's a great way to make a living while maintaining a flexible lifestyle. The best part is that I'm in complete control of my schedule, which allows me to prioritize work that I'm passionate about. Some weeks I work more than others, depending on the projects I take on, but I never feel rushed or stressed. I choose clients who respect my time and value creativity, which means I don't have to deal with difficult, high-maintenance customers. I make a decent living, but more importantly, I have time for myself. I get to explore new creative ideas, travel, and spend time with my loved ones, without worrying about the next paycheck. This job gives me the perfect mix of financial stability and personal freedom. Story 40, The Research Scientist. I work as a research scientist at a major pharmaceutical company, and while there's some pressure to meet milestones, I've found that the work itself is surprisingly low stress. Most of my days are spent in the lab conducting experiments, analyzing data, and writing reports. The work can get intense when we're nearing deadlines, but overall, it's very rewarding. There's plenty of downtime in between experiments, and I've learned how to manage my time efficiently. The company provides a supportive environment where employees are encouraged to explore new ideas without the fear of failure. I'm well compensated for my expertise, and the job offers great benefits. It's not just about the paycheck, though. I genuinely enjoy the intellectual challenges that come with the job, and I get to make a real impact on the field of medicine. Even with the occasional stress of project deadlines, this is one of the most fulfilling and stress-free jobs I could have imagined.